Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Jase Brown. Welcome back to another video. And today we have the one and only Austin Silver. So Austin, why don't you introduce yourself for the people who actually don't know who you are, which I mean, that shouldn't be the majority of people anyways.
Dude, first, I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to do the video. For everybody that's watching, I appreciate you being here. My name's Austin. I am the co-owner and head of trading and education at ASFX. Jase and I trade together every day. I like to say we work together, not that Jase works for me or I work for Jase, nothing like that. We're part of a team. And I think we're part of probably the fastest growing Forex community in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? I think we are really picking up a lot of momentum. So I'm proud about that. So I think that's a little good intro for me. So
in today's video, we want to talk about kind of the trials of a beginner trader. Every trader has kind of a journey that they overcome. Me specifically, it had to be, with lots of losses and having my parents kind of just be negative about it in the beginning. I'm sure Austin has like his little journey as well. So I want to just talk about like our obstacles and how we overcome those obstacles as a beginner trader. So the first question is, how did you find out about trading, Austin?
So I found out about day trading when I was studying to take my Series 7 because I was working as a financial advisor for Northwestern Mutual. Yeah. So I really had never heard of day trading at all until I was studying and I saw the difference between day trading, swing trading, investing, just starting to learn the terminology that we use every day. I had never really known those words before I was 18. So that's where I heard about day trading. And then I found Forex like 6 months into watching video courses and doing research on the internet and trying to learn as much as I could. That's when I found Forex on Facebook through those multi-level marketing companies, unfortunately, but just through that and you can come out on the other side. But I think, yeah, that's where I found day trading. So that was back when I was like 18. So that's almost 7 years ago now.
Was that kind of your journey that you started out with, or was it like, did you start?
Yeah, because before that, the only trade that I had ever done was when I was 13. I actually don't talk about this one that much. When I was 13, my dad gave me my bar mitzvah money and we put it into Johnson & Johnson, Pepsi, a couple Whole Foods. I bought some of their stock and I forget the fourth one. And we ended up selling all of those four no, it wasn't Apple. Wait. So it was those four, not Apple. We sold those for a small loss, like 3-4 months into it and moved all the money into Apple. That's when we bought Apple. And at that time, Apple was under $100 a share, well before all the splits. Cause this is back, like I said, this is back when I was probably, it was 2013. So I was 13. So that's probably 2007. Yeah. 2007, 2008. Yep. So we ended up buying Apple then. And then by the time I was 17, that money was worth 7x. So it helped me buy my first car and we closed it. I used that money plus some savings and I bought my first car. So that was my first trade. Yeah, it was, but dude, when I think about that, that's not even like something that has anything to do with the way I trade now, but it just showed, I think, me the potential of making your money work for you.
So what was like kind of like your first trade that you ever placed and like, your brokers and everything like that? Because you said your journey started, whenever you first found out, but when did it actually, you start trading consistently or you start trading at like a kind of a beginner rate?
So the first trade that I placed for Forex, well, just because I just explained the Apple stock, that stuff, I mean, different. Yeah. The first Forex thing was with Trader's Way. That was with my broker. And I think the first thing that I tried to trade was Euro USD because when I got into trading with those multi-level marketing companies whose names do not need to be said, they told me that they had this scanner. And if I used this scanner, it was going to give me the best patterns in the world. And then someone on the internet told me that if I stuck with one pair, I would be better off. And they didn't tell me that I'd miss out opportunities. They said it would be better to just stick with one pair, which is so silly. And I did. So I was trading Euro USD with Trader's Way. That's where I actually started, which is an unregulated broker. And I definitely don't recommend that. Now that's like the opposite of where we want to put people.
No. Trading. I've heard really bad reviews with them. They had like 1 to 1,000 leverage, which is insane.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy because it is so, I think about this all the time. It's so attractive to new traders when they just get into trading, this 1 to 1,000 leverage. And you think that like, oh, I can treat this legit. I don't need to over leverage. But most people, like literally 99% of people end up over leveraging when they have the ability to. So I just think that human trait is in all of us. That little bit of greed that can push you over the edge sometimes. So I think that's why those brokers are such a bad path for people. You should just not even open yourself up to that. Like no one is like you're not superhuman. You're still going to feel that greed eventually. So just take that opportunity away from yourself. Take the opportunity of over leveraging away. But I didn't think that way when I started. So bro, I want to try to log back into my Trader's Way account one day and print out the broker statements. It would literally be $75, $100, $100, $250, $500, $100 deposits, just funding small accounts, blowing them. That's what Trader's Way taught.
That's the thing, bro. They won't even let you like withdraw your money. Like it has to be at a certain amount.
I know so many people that had, I know so many people that had issues. And then what other people did, this is something nobody talks about, but this is a little detail. And I've seen all these Instagram gurus, they've all done it. They take the bonus from these unregulated brokers, and that gives them more money in the onset, but you can't withdraw that money unless you make some certain threshold that they set for you because you took the bonus. It's like trading on margin basically. And then they don't let you take it out. So it just makes it look like you're trading a lot more. And I think that kind of plays into the whole Instagram guru bullshit that we live through, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what I faced a couple of years ago. LPODFX did the same thing where they offered you like a 50% bonus if you put your money in, but you can't withdraw it, and you can't even withdraw your initial deposit. So it's so enticing to the beginner traders for sure. Whenever they see 100%. That, oh, get my money back, like trading. Like I see people making money in trading, so I can use this amazing broker worth like $1,000 of my $1 of my account. I can make so much money off this, and it's so enticing for everyone, 100%. I think that's kind of like
people. Yeah, I think people don't want to accept the fact that you need money to make money. Yeah. Everybody, and especially if you don't have money, you want to find a way to start to grow. So naturally, you're going to try to take a small amount into a big amount. But in reality, if you really want to make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're in trading, you're going to need hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars to generate that type of return consistently. But that's not what a normal trading guru, trading coach would say in 2020. Everybody else would tell you to go try to flip it. But I think it's just not feasible for the long term.
Yeah, for sure. That's why, like, 100%.
And now you've lived that really, I mean, you've embodied that idea of like going from the unregulated to the regulated and growing that. And now you're doing the stuff with the prop firms and even growing faster because of that. Prop firms like that, bro, were not a thing when I got into trading. So you have you guys like that are coming in now, like you, not that you're new, but even the guys coming in today have so much opportunity in front of them. I think they just got to be smart with where they look to go next. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And not make the same mistakes like I made.
Yeah, like that's why I think as coaches and, you know, as the owner, we can teach people and just let people see our mistakes and, you know, have them just be better than us, eventually be better traders than us. Cause like, I mean, like I'm not the best trader in the group. I just work really hard. And so that's why I'm really just, you know, so focused on helping those people make not the same mistakes. And we're doing a really good job. I feel like in our group,
I think so too.
A lot of people are not doing the same mistakes as like all these other groups in the Forex.
I agree.
100%.
I mean, you have to look at too, like how supportive the people in our group are. It's because so many people have tried to make money trading. And when they go into other communities, they don't find support. And when they come into our group, because no one has an ego, like you just said, you admit very openly, you're not the best trader. I admit very openly that I'm not the best trader. If you have a group of people that admit that they know what they don't know, together you can all grow way faster and way further. So you have a whole bunch of people that have left their ego at the door coming together to just try to learn and grow. That's a really rare and beautiful thing. And I think that's why, like I said at the beginning, we're gaining so much momentum over the last year and a half, you know, because it's so real. It isn't built up. Because dude, I've heard from some people that have come from, again, we don't need to mention names, but they've come from all these guys on Instagram who have groups and they're literally cursing people out based on their trade ideas. Like, fuck you, you're wrong, gold is going down because I said it's going. Like, could you imagine me saying that? How would you even try to grow a business like that, let alone be a good person? Like, so when we do what we do, just back to your point, when we are so genuine and can just admit what we don't know and be wrong and be open about it, people love that, bro, because that's all anybody wants is just to be treated as equal, treated as that we're all the same human. Money in your pocket don't matter, bro. We're all still the same.
I have to say it's more professional than everything else. Like for me, being in lots of groups in the past, over more than probably 50, I'm not gonna lie, over 50.
Yeah.
It's like there's no trading plan. There's no specific rules for anything. This group is the only group that I found in Forex where, you know, we have a trading plan. It's more professional. Markups doing consistently, having a system with an entry and exit rules. Like it's more professional than everything else, and it's more real, like you said. That's why I think, you know, we are the fastest growing. You know, we are the fastest 100%. Growing group in the industry because we are real. Like we are professional. Like we're professionally doing everything as a professional trader will do. Having a trading plan, doing markups, doing lots of back testing.
And just learning from people like Mike Bellafiore. Even though they trade stocks, I look to guys that run these, that not even that they run a prop, just to run a prop firm or run a trading business, but I look at the guys that have survived, bro, that they've written, like Mark Minaveri, Steenbarger, like all these guys, Jack Schwager, they've been around traders, they've traded for Steve Burns, they've been around. That's who I would like to model and try to be like, because if they've survived, there's so many ways to trade and make money, bro. You can go trade so many different markets once you start making money. You know what I mean? There's so many ways. I think what makes the difference for the people that have survived versus the people that have not and the people that won't is they have a certain way of thinking. So really what I'm trying to do now, 2021, my biggest goal, I want to focus more on making sure that the content I create is teaching people not just a strategy, but a way to think. Because if you can teach somebody how to think the right way, bro, they're going to be way better than you even thought. And that's what's been happening, but I just wasn't aware of it. I wasn't paying attention enough to see. I'm not teaching Jerome just a strategy. I've taught him a way to think, and that's why he's making way more money than I thought. Lindsay, I didn't think she was going to be as consistent as she is. She's not because of the strategy. She is because of the way she thinks. I taught her to think a certain way. I said something that got her turning, and that made her think differently. So I think that is what I'm trying to model, and I think that's why we're surviving, and that's why those other guys like Bellafiore, like all the guys I mentioned, why they've survived. It's a way of thinking, you know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. For me, same thing. From one market I've shifted becoming profitable, and I could use that mindset that your system to kind of look at another market to make money consistently in that. Like it's just like I never experienced that kind of way of thinking before with any other strategies or anything other like that. But whenever I join your system, whenever I become consistent with your system, it's like everything just clicks. Like it clicks.
Right.
Like higher time frame, smaller time frame.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that these systems are going to keep working? They haven't changed. Like the A1, I have markups from 2015. It's still the A1 entry. Do you think in 2023, 2025, it's still going to be presentable? Like, do you think they'll still present?
It's going to be presentable 100%. And A1 entry is always.
I think so too.
D1 and D2. Yeah. But, I've been, kind of like getting into systems, kind of system research systems and stuff like that. And like, Dr. Ken Long always says that having a system being binary in a market, but if the market kind of is not binary and it changes throughout like time, which is a fact, market changes throughout time, then you have to kind of modify that system to work with that current market condition or current market, like environment. So for me, I always think that the D1 entry is always going to be there. The A1 entry for sure is always going to be there. Is it going to be as effective 100 years later? If we don't modify it, I don't think so in my opinion. But if we modify it throughout time, just toward the market environment, I do think it's still going to be one of the most profitable systems for sure in the industry. That's just my opinion.
Well, the way I agree with you. The way I look at it is, it's like, do you think that candles will stop presenting? Do you think that the EMA crossovers that we like to see, the trend in EMAs will stop painting? No. What about the TDI? You think it's going to stop doing crosses that we like to see and read? No, it's still moving. So as long as it's moving, I still think these entries are going to be there. I agree.
Yeah, 100%. My other question that I want to ask you is, what was kind of like the hardest obstacle that you had to face, as a trader, as a beginner trader?
If I think back to like when I started, I just didn't have people to hold me accountable to being a certain version of myself. When I was actually, Dennis, he was here hanging out with me in Florida yesterday. And we were talking about a quote from Mike Bellafiore where he said, it's really, I think the quote is something like, there's no excuse to not be your best self as a trader. So I think when I got started, I would do this thing where I wouldn't hold myself accountable to all the trades I would take. I'd win two, but that third loss, I would just ignore it and not try to learn from it and see if I should be modifying my system. I would just not be accountable for all of my losses. The first step of accountability was having Riley and like telling her about all the money and sharing all the information with her and deciding that we were going to build a relationship and a business together. And then on top of that, building the community with ASFX and creating my trade videos and putting out all of my trade ideas and sharing all of that. So without that community, I feel like I struggled with accountability. So I think a lot of people are going to do what I just said, which is they'll take 3 trades, lose 1, win 2, and act like that third one didn't happen. That's a big issue. But if you can be honest with yourself and leave the ego out of your trading, not at this desk, you will end up taking those 3 trades. Hopefully you're listening to me and you. And now because I've made that mistake, other people don't have to keep doing it. They can say, that is me. I'm doing that too. I'm guilty. And then they can share that idea in the community and learn from it. That's what I didn't have. So now that we can give that to people, it's invaluable. There's no price that I can put on that, because if you put out effort, that's the beautiful thing about accountability. If you ask for it, put out that effort, it will be given back to you because we have a good community of people. So with that, I think my biggest struggle, like I said, it's probably the accountability, and also just people trying to talk shit, not believing in me, telling me that I can't make money trading and grow a business and make money online. And people still will tell that to me, not as often. I think the big thing is like my family has come around and tried to support me now more than they used to, because they see the life that it's given me and Riley, and helped out with some stuff with them too. So I think that was a struggle, but I've always been very solid with myself. I think more than most people. Like I listen to a lot of Gary Vee. I've always been into like self-help books and self-motivation. I think I knew when I left school, bro, when I filled out that form and I was like really ready to drop out of college before senior year, like I was very close to graduating. I knew how many people were not going to support me. And I had already just been like, okay, I already made my bed. People aren't going to support me. I'm just going to deal with it, So that wasn't a huge issue, but it was there. It was definitely there.
That's like for me specifically, like in the beginning, no one really supported me. Like my family didn't really support me. And even to this day, like my like family in my house, like they 100% they support me, and I appreciate always
now
they do for me. Now they do. But still with my other families, like around the country in Florida and stuff like that, they're not really as supportive as they always think that I could always be doing better going to college. They have the mindset you have to go to college to make money. You have to go to college. You have to go to college. They want me to go get a business degree. And like,
yeah, they're just
I already know almost like I've been doing businesses since I was 15. I know everything about, not everything, but I know a lot from, marketing, from, digital marketing, social media marketing.
You won't ever be able to learn in a classroom what you really need to learn out here in the business world. Listen,
the professor is not a business manager. The professor doesn't know anything about managing an actual life business.
100%. I'm living proof of this concept because in college, I changed my major before I dropped out from business to communication, because all I wanted to do, we were talking about this at dinner. I told Dennis this. I wanted to take Finance 101 and just get into finance and start learning about it. But I couldn't because I didn't pass accounting. But in my brain, every business that I had ever worked for or worked with hired an accountant. So why do I need to learn accounting if I can just run a business, grow a business, and hire an accountant? My guidance counselor at Rowan couldn't answer that question. My teachers couldn't answer the question. Didn't make sense to me. And now I pay more money per year than most of those teachers pay their accountant or pay in taxes, whatever. So it's just funny how school has such a very rigid way of doing things, bro. It is this, then this, then this. That is not how the real world functions anymore. And with the internet, you have teachers in a classroom getting paid to teach something that is probably outdated. It could still be valid information, but as far as teaching is something that could be applied to today and used to grow a business, it's not taught as much as people want it to be taught. But if you need to be a lawyer or a doctor, you have to go to school. You got to play the game. Go to school, go to masters, go to this, go to that, residency, blah, blah, blah. You got to do the game. But if you're just trying to be a regular person and grow a business, bro, these people have such a closed-minded way of thinking.
They do.
Once you break out of the box, bro, I got bigger goals than these people have ever even thought. And I don't have a degree. I'm trying to, like, literally my next big goal is I want to raise $50,000 between all of my social media followings and build a school in Costa Rica or Nicaragua. That's my big thing. I'm going to be, it's crazy, bro. And you think 50 grand, that's some people's yearly salary, but that's just not the life that I'm living anymore. So I've broken out of the box. I'm broken out of this way of thinking of you got to go to college to make money or be successful. No, you don't. You can go to college, make a ton of money, and be way more impactful than these guys that have 4 degrees and are working and are miserable. I'm way happier than them without any debt. And I can think about bigger things in the world, like building a school and making a difference, not just paying back my stupid college degree that doesn't do anything for me.
Exactly.
Last thing, sorry. I know I rant about it, but dude, the last thing, it's just fucking, it blows my mind. Most people end up not getting a job in the field that they have their degree.
So facts.
What are you doing?
I know a lot of people who are in that same obstacle, like in medical school, they're a nurse, but they don't have any actual nursing jobs there at their estate. So they have to officially move. So they're moving.
That's crazy.
And it's just like, like it's shocking to me. Like for me at an early age, bro, like I've always kind of looked outside the box. Like for me in the beginning, like when I was 15, I was like, bro, I hate school. And like, I despise school. Maybe it was just me because I was lazy or whatever, or something like that. But then I found out like school isn't like everyone like is so brainwashed and like going to school, getting a college degree or whatever. And I was like, bro, like that's so stupid. Like, what am I trying to accomplish in life? Like before I got into trading, or just before I got seriously into trading, I wanted to be like a fitness influencer. I wanted to have like, I had a good Instagram following, like 6,000 followers back then. And I wanted to have like a fitness influencer, get paid by these sponsorships. I was like, that sounds fun to me. That sounds something that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about helping people achieve their body transformation bars or whatever and stuff like that. So that was kind of my mindset. And at an early age, like I started skipping school. I'm going to say that.
But I think it's not because you're like, at least because I feel like you and I have gotten to know each other pretty well over the last year and a half, almost 2 years now that we've known each other. Like you're not somebody that's shy of learning. You're totally willing to learn something new. You're trying to build your own system right now. That requires more learning and study than most people study for their college classes. So I don't think, and bro, look at you've seen the courses. Anybody listening to this has seen the courses. There's a lot of testing in that. Like I've put a lot of hundreds of hours into building the systems. There's no question that you and me love learning, but the way of thinking that they try, going back to what I said a few minutes ago about the way you think, the way they make you think in school, the system, the box that they built, for some of us, it just doesn't look right, bro. It's like they're trying to put a square, it's like a square brick in a round hole. It don't work, So, but I think you're a good example. You kind of picked it up on it in yourself. Almost, I was around the same age as you, but you're different than most people because we picked up on it when we were young that this isn't for me. I got to figure out a way out. Bro, some people end up burying themselves in debt and then they figure it out. And that's not the way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, it just like for me, like, bro, like math, everything, English sucked. Like, what do I need to learn about fractions? What is that going to do? I don't want to be no darn scientist, no mathematician or whatever. But whenever I'm getting into trading, like the formulas, the science of building an actual profitable system, bro, I'm so passionate about that. Like, I fucking love that. That type of math, you'll go crazy on. But it's like Pythagorean theorem for what, bro? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Why do I remember that? For what? Like, why did they put that in my brain? Couldn't they have put something like how to balance a checkbook, how to build a success, how to balance a business account, something like that? Just more info. But they can't, bro, because not everybody is thinking the way that you and I are. That's what the comments on our YouTube video are going to say right now. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, I'm happy with my 9 to 5. I don't think the way you think." And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying I'm not like that. So stop bashing me and you for thinking different. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same with me. Like it's been a journey, bro. From skipping school, like I quit. Like I almost dropped out of school. Junior year, beginning of junior year, I almost dropped out of school just because I hated everything about school. Wow. But then I was like, you know what? Like my parents are like being like they're like mad. I need to make them happy. So I'll go to homeschool and I'll finish the class. I'll finish high school really early. So I'll make them happy. And I got that super degree right over there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And, there we go. Did I really need that kind of like, diploma or whatever? Not really. But I had to do it to make my parents happy. And that's a lot of
that's a lot of people, bro.
Obstacle where they're trying to make their parents happy. They have to make their parents happy.
My younger brother, bro. Same thing. I didn't care about that though. No disrespect to my mom and dad. I know they're not watching this video because they don't watch my YouTube videos, but I didn't care about making them happy. And they felt like I was shitting on them by not caring. But it's like, no, you guys raised me to be an independent thinker. Why do I need to now, with all the information and knowledge of 17, 18 years, why do I need to now think about making you happy? Shouldn't I be taking all that information and making the best decision for me? And that's what I did. You know what I mean? But at that time, they didn't agree with it. And like, dude,
so no matter what, really negative about it. Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Your parents are always going to want what's safe for you. Trading is not a safe career, especially if you don't have a lot of money when you start. It's not a good option. It's not something that people with little money, like I said, should be involved in. You should be in trading when you have some, not only money saved up, I think you should have some other money coming in. So on slower months, if it's from real estate or another job or whatever it is, dude, look at October. Very slow for trading for me, at least. It's like in those months when I got started, those are the months that would chop me up. Those are the months where I'd force trades because I needed the money. And once I realized what I was doing from studying other people that had done the same mistakes, then I was able to stop doing it. You know what I mean? But these are those slower periods when people don't have other income or don't have savings. They chop you up because you think you got to trade. I got to make my money, and that's not the right way to trade. You can't trade with, I got to pay rent. You know, it's just not going to work. Sorry.
I know, it's going to stress you out so much. Like, for me, at least for like the majority of people that I've seen, they always felt like I've had lots of people who go into day trading full time with like $20,000, $30,000, and they expect, you know, to meet all their bills and stuff like that. And, you know, from like week to week, from month to month, whenever the market's low, whenever the market's shit, it just stresses them out because, well, now they're in the red and now they have to make some money back to get into the green and then more money to pay for their bills for that week or for that month. And it's just like every person that I've seen that, no offense to everyone out there watching, but I've seen all of them fail. From my perspective, I've seen all of them fail miserably where they have $30,000, they literally like, you know, blow maybe half of their account. And now like they're stuck with no job, you know, bills to pay, lots of debt, credit card debts and stuff like that. And it's just, it's not the right way to do it. You have to have a big buffer on that.
But also I feel like these prop firms, you've kind of gone and pushed yourself into a little bit. They're giving people like you and me and any trader that's new the opportunity to not have to take on that risk if these companies pay you out. ASFX doesn't endorse any of these funding companies. We don't work with any of them. We just are people that are trading. We have a lot of guys that take our course and we get a lot of feedback about this funded company and that funded company and this funding company. And all my thoughts are these sound like a great opportunity for new traders because then they don't have to worry about trading their own capital and they can still trade successfully and make a little bit of money, right? But I think the biggest problem always with me is I just want to make sure that those prop firms pay people out. Legit. There's a new one that you and I have been, I sent it to you, we don't need to say their name, but with the $1 million account, you can pay $5,000 past their challenge and then they give you $1 million to trade with. For some new traders, that's an amazing opportunity if you know you're going to get paid out and if you can pass that 10% challenge, which shouldn't be that difficult because it's not on a time frame. But I think that is a way in for some traders to avoid that stress that I feel like I put on myself when I first started and a lot of traders put on themselves when they first start, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think with this era now with prop firms, I think it's giving more people like beginner traders more opportunities than it ever was in the beginning. So I don't endorse like any like prop firms. I don't recommend anyone to just, you know, go ahead and take them with no knowledge about them first. But they definitely, you know, from my experience, they've definitely helped me a lot with, you know, like for me, I only had $10,000 in the beginning, so I didn't have like a big chunk of money to live off by. But, you know, with working with a prop firm, from my experience, it's definitely helped me out. Just, you know, I do have multiple other streams. Like I have, you know, 3 other multiple like streams of income. So that definitely helped me whenever I was, you know, just full-time trading and, you know, having to pay my bills. But having that prop firm right there or with me and helping me out like with like the side income, it definitely helped me a lot as a full-time trader.
Bro, you're going to start making YouTube money soon.
Hopefully. You know, so when your parents weren't supportive in the beginning, that's what you said. So was your brother supportive in the beginning whenever you started getting into trading?
Well, Logan, it's not that he was not supportive. Logan and I have always had like this weird competitive thing between the two of us.
Same with me.
Yeah, so like he came to the Philly seminar and he fell asleep in the front row. He's always been like his own person where I've never been able to tell him like you should do this and it might work out well for you. So I don't try to say that to him as a brother. I just do my life and he seems to want to do some of the same things that I do, which is awesome. But he also has a totally different route now that he wants to take his trading. So I think we're pretty separate. So I wouldn't say he was not supportive, but I wouldn't say he was like, oh, I want to trade the same way you are. He was kind of like, oh, I want to trade, but I'm going to figure out a different way for some reason. That's just him, just the way he wants to be.
He got into trading the same kind of like time around you?
I don't think it was the same time because at first nobody was, I mean, it was probably 3 years I was trading and then he got into it because he's 6 years younger than me. So he's your age. He's 19.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I thought he was like 20.
No, bro. I think he's 18 or 19. He's 6 years younger than me.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought he was
So bro, I know he got started trading when he was 17. So that would be 2.5, 3 years ago, because when he got started, he needed my dad to open the account for him because he wasn't old enough to open the regulated Owanda account. Yeah. So he used my dad's name at first. Mm-hmm. So that was when he got started.
Mm-hmm. So that's insane. I didn't know your brother was that young. I thought he was like 2 years younger than you, or something like that.
When you put us next to each other, he's husky. He's a big and muscular, bigger than me. So you'd think he's like the big brother, but he's not, unfortunately.
Oh my God. Yeah, same with my brother. Me and my brother have like a competitive kind of view of like everything, like in trading and businesses. Like he's working for full time, like at home. Like he's a insurance agent, or what, insurance seller?
So selling like life insurance. Yeah.
Life insurance.
Financial advisor.
Life insurance. So like we're always competitive with everything, especially in the beginning of trading. Like
that's good.
We both got into trading at the same time. Yeah, it was good in the beginning for sure. But he kind of just drifted away from trading after he experienced some big losses, and then I just
find that's for most people though. Yeah, most people end up drifting away. There's nothing wrong with it. I think like the people that are listening this far into your video today, they're the people that will probably still be trading or trying to trade in the next year or two. But most people that are trading today will not be trading a year or two from now. It's just a fact. Yeah. It's nothing wrong with it. They're just not, it's not that they're not a good person. It's not that they're not smart. It's not that they're not talented. It's just not for them.
Exactly.
You have to find you got to meditate. That's why this is my funny joke. I'm like, you got to meditate, eat some mushrooms, smoke some weed, find yourself, and then you'll know where you need to go. For me, it's always been money driven, and the fact that I went from playing soccer, which is a team sport, and I was so frustrated that I was never playing with people that I thought that were as good as me, to running track because I wanted giving me all the pressure. I want to run the race. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. It's me. That's trading. Mm-hmm. So you can see I went from a team sport kind of mindset, and then as I grew into myself, as I grew 17, 18, 19 in high school and college, track was much more my thing than soccer, just because if I want to win, I'm putting it on my back. We're going to win on my back. Just me. So look at trading as much as we're a community and we're helping each other, and I share my markups, share my all the shit I do. Mm-hmm. It's still just me clicking at the end of the day with my money. You know what I mean? And that's what I love. So you have to find you. It aligns with me. So it's not
exactly. Everyone has their, like I said again, everyone finds their journey. Everyone finds themselves in trading, like who they really are. Like, I mean, like for me, bro, I've been kind of a negative, shy person, like in my life. Like I was shy, like I wasn't like an introvert or like just quiet all the time. Like I was funny, like I like people, but I just wasn't that phase where I was shy. And then I just, I was really negative about myself. I was crapping myself all the freaking time. And that kind of like resolved into trading as well. With trading, like I wasn't trading really seriously.
It'll carry over.
But it carried over. Yeah, for sure. I'm rereading this book called Trading Beyond the Matrix. Whatever you feel, whatever you think about yourself, it's going to revolve in the sharks. Like, oh, I feel such a complete fucking loser. Why did I lose on that stupid trade? Oh, I just lost another $1,000. Yeah, I can't do this anymore. Like, it sucks. Like, it just revolves everything in trading. Like, you may not fucking think about those candlesticks, or like you're thinking about yourself in those candlesticks. And
this is how I think about it. If you think how scientists a couple of years ago told us that they can measure different universes, and everybody was like, what the Google it. You can read about it. There's actually, I think, 12 or 13 different measurable universes.
Really?
Trading is if you look at that, there's a lot of universes. There's a lot of different, like an ant's universe is so different than my universe, but we're on the same planet. Trading is just a different universe for humans to interact in. Mm-hmm. When you are trading, I think you have to look at it like there's specific rules, there's specific ways of acting, there's specific laws of that universe that are not the same when you can leave the chart. So I think you have to just understand that no matter what you bring to the desk, because it's all universes, like in that sense, I'm being nerdy, but like they all share some parallel. The things that you do outside your trading will parallel and reflect themselves directly in your trading. They will come out. Like you're saying, if you're negative, it will come out in your trading. You'll talk to yourself negatively, talk yourself out of a good trade idea. So it's very tough, I think, for a lot of people to find that balance, that equilibrium of talking to themselves properly, not being too emotional, feeling their emotions, but not letting them dictate their decisions, and then still following their trading plan. It's a very, very interesting equation that you have to put together.
How did you overcome negativity in the beginning? Because for me, like it was like a long journey for me, and I wasn't perfect throughout the whole journey. But for you, like you kind of were just kind of self-independent, like you said. Like you read a lot of Gary Vee videos or books, and you were into a lot of motivation content. Yeah.
AirPods when good content, good books, good audiobooks, good podcasts. That's where my negativity, whenever I would get negative, where I would shake it loose, you know? And I do think, like, for me, I'm not an advocate for marijuana, but I think smoking weed has really helped me find myself more, just because it kind of has given me strength in my independence. And a lot of my best ideas come when I'm high. So I love that that it's made me actually love the feeling of being alone and being independent, left on an island, because I know I'll make it work. So it's interesting how it's almost like transformed me, and I've transformed any negativity into fuel, and it like fires me up. And it's like, you could say whatever you want, but I already know who I am. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
about how to handle negativity? Like, you can't really be like, you can't, dude, like, here's a quick little example. These people commenting on my YouTube video. I spent so much time filming this Q&A in the car because I thought people would like to see it. I was just trying to do something cool, something different. Bro, and I got a lot of good comments, and I'm grateful for everybody that watched all 40 minutes and found some value, for sure. I appreciate it. There are some people that have been commenting on Twitter when I posted on Twitter, and there's comments on the YouTube video. Why are you on your phone when you're driving? Why, you're so reckless, you're irresponsible. Like, I'm like, are you serious? This is the negativity that you're trying to project on me because there's something going on in your life that you're not even listening to the value in my video. You'd rather watch and just see that and comment on that. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of negativity that exists in the world. Bro, I'm already past that. I can't, no disrespect to those people. I almost can't help them. I don't even want to talk to them. They're just not for me, you know? So that's how I feel, independent. Even in that answer, you can hear I feel independent, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think like with the process of negativity, I think everyone kind of has their own journey. For you, you're more like, you're kind of just in that, like you already knew what you were doing. You already knew that, you know, what were your goals. And, you know, even if you felt low negativity, you know, eventually you always push that back and, you know, came back 10 times harder. For me, whenever I overcame negativity, it was much harder because, you know, I just, you know, became more negative over time, and I couldn't really help myself. Like, you know, think positive thoughts or something like that, especially in trading after a loss. Like, I would beat myself up tremendously after a fucking loss and be like, you know, that's the most stupidest loss that you ever had. Right. So, you know, for me to overcome negativity, I just had to, you know, just do a lot of self-development. In trading, you have to have a lot of self-development. You have to be healthy and mental and your physical and your emotional health. Yeah, people don't really understand those three, but those are the big three that you have to, you know, just feel okay with yourself. You have to feel okay with your 100%. Body, emotions, and your mental health. So for me, it was kind of more into like, I wasn't really okay with my emotional and mental health. So I had to fix that, have to be more kind of self-aware of my emotions and, you know, work on myself, you know, spend more time with myself, spend more time, you know, doing the things that I love.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Cause I feel like that the difference between you and me is I kind of already had that when I got into trading, because I think I had a lot of negativity when I had just started trading and I wasn't calling myself a trader. The negativity was really because I left school. So the negativity around trading never scared me away or made me feel the same way as you, because I was already on this path of finding myself. And I already had a little bit, my DJ job, because I had been working since I was 16 as a DJ, that really helped me find myself too.
Interesting.
So I had that little flame, you know, to carry that forward and know that I was still, you know, like, as corny as it sounds, it's like, you know, you're strong, you're a cool, independent guy. Like, no, if you say something to me, I know it's just your own negativity. I kind of already had that in my mind going into trading. So when people would talk negative to trading, all I was hearing, or trying to tell myself that I was hearing, was them saying that they can't trade and that they won't make money trading or they lost money trading. That's all they're projecting their own scared fears onto me. Mm-hmm. That's not cool. So I was very aware of that, you know, and I think that helped too.
Yeah, that's definitely helped. So, yeah, I mean, like, I think it's just, you were in a more developed kind of area.
I was a little older too.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was young. I was freaking like,
exactly.
15 when I started out. So it was definitely.
Bro, and like, imagine what you're going to be like when you're 27, 29, bro. You're going to be fucking killing it because of all this self-development that you're going through now at such a young age. That's why I feel so grateful to be able to share what I've learned and also try to continue to learn. I've got all these books that I'm always reading. Like, dude, I'm just getting started. I'm 25. I haven't even been working I'm like literally 11, 12 years into a working career. Trading, only 6. Dude, think about how much time is in front of me. I don't even remember what I was like when I was 5, 6. You have vague memories. So all of that time, I've got like 3, maybe 4 of those left minimum. It could be more depending on health and shit like that. So I've got a lot of time. You've got a lot of time. So I'm very grateful to have gone through all the negativity and all that growth already, because it's already, I feel like, not that I'm ahead of people because it's not a competition. I'm ahead of where I should be if I wouldn't have done those things. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm a more developed version of myself. Yeah, I'm sure 100%. You can relate to that. So it feels like you're starting here. And now if I keep reading and keep getting smarter and keep going down this path of learning about myself, the way I think, the way I feel, I'm going to be floating by the time I'm like 30, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts, bro. Yeah. A lot of people don't really kind of self-develop. Like I know 40, 50, 60-year-olds who never really self-develop. They with their wives, with their families or whatever, they've always been a certain way. And, for me, like I've definitely found that out. And I learned from horrible mistakes, from breakups, from, losses or whatever. I learned from those specific mistakes. And instead of doing the same darn mistakes, I thought to myself, okay, I need to be better than this, because if I'm not better than who I was in the past, then what's the point of life? I need to be learning from my mistakes constantly and becoming better as an individual. So for me, 100%. It was just, working on myself constantly and just learning from my mistakes. You pay market your weight whenever you have losses.
You say that, you think about what you just said for a second. Like, you're so young to be thinking that, like, most people our age are just hungry for some bread. They just want to make money because they think money is the end all be all. It's just interesting to hear that, like, I know I've helped play a factor in the way that you think and that you think that way. Because I think that because of that, you're going to be a better person overall. Just you will. Because when you're driven by money alone, I think it does over time. I felt it. Like, I think it makes you cold. I think it really, really can. And I think if you don't, you can almost lose an attachment to what's important, and life isn't about making money. Life is about being the best version of yourself, because when you're that, yes, you're going to be a great trader, but you're also going to be a great boyfriend and a great dad and a great friend and a great son. And those things I think are way more important than me having a 5,000 square foot house and a bunch of dirt bikes and a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's absolute facts, bro. 100%. Like, for me, like I've always been money motivated, but deep in my values, like deep and rooted in my values, I've always been like,
it's family.
Family, like God, country, family, honor. Family. Like that's what I truly care about in life. Like, I want to make money. I want to be rich, but like at the end of the day, if I had to give all my wealth for my family, for my future wife,
you said that the other day. Yeah,
I would do that in the snap. But anyway, so how did you overcome kind of working a 9-to-5 job and trading at the same time? Because for some people it's difficult.
With little sleep.
A little bit difficult.
Real. Just not sleeping a lot, bro. I mean, it was very difficult at first. So I was doing DJ gigs on the weekend, sometimes 2-3 gigs on the weekend. And then I was going in during the week from like 10 to 4 some days, 10 to 12. Just every day was different depending on what events we had and what sales I had going. Because I was selling events for DJ gigs, like selling the furniture and the DJ packages for weddings and corporate gigs and stuff like that. Our company had leads and I would sell that. And then I would do some of the parties on the weekends. So really, like, for me, I'm very grateful for that, because my bosses were always awesome and they let me come in early. Like, I could start trading at home. When I lived in Jersey, I was in Philly at that time. So I would start trading at home, see if there was anything going on. This was before T3. This is before all that, bro. This is way back. And then I would go to the DJ job, and I would keep trading from there. I would check my laptop. I'd be there by 9. I'd make sure that I could, have a screen there for me. So my bosses at the DJ job were very cool about it. They just thought it was like a fun little game that I was playing. They didn't really understand that I had a plan to quit and move on and move to Florida. And now here I am. So it's like, I think they were very cool about it, and that helped me. And trading before work really helped me. I didn't do that Asian session stuff that some people try to do because I saw it was too slow. So no matter what, it was like, train your body to get up early, bro. And now I used to be the guy up till like 11 or 12 every night and then up at like 6, 7. I don't stay up that late, and I wake up earlier now. So I just changed my DNA. Like, I just rewired my brain a little bit and my sleep schedule, and I just got into that hustle mode. And that was really, again, I wanted it, bro. I just really wanted to be free. I didn't want to be anywhere that someone else told me I had to be other than me. That's it.
It's hard, bro. It's hard. It's literally fucking enormously hard. For me, bro, like working my 100%. First 9-to-5 job, like the last 9-to-5 job was my first 9-to-5 job. And as I think I was like 18, the beginning of, right in the few months whenever I was 18, like whenever I first started to turn 18, or whenever I first was 18, I started working at that job. And that was so difficult for me because like working, they didn't even give me like an actual, like, like an 8-hour schedule. They gave me like 8, 10, 11, 12 some days. And I'll be working in the cold, moving cars, selling customers constantly, calling customers constantly. And for me, it was just so hard in the beginning to kind of.
Did you learn anything from that though? Did you take any valuable lessons from that?
I will say yes, like, cause like I like cars, like I like working with cars, like I work with a lot of mechanics, and you know I love them teaching me teaching stuff about cars and how they work and how to fix cars in a certain way, how to, you know, change tires or whatever. Like I love stuff like that. So I definitely learned a lot about the kind of like the back end mechanical side, and I guess selling too. Just making sure that the customers are comfortable and, making them, just feel comfortable in your area, and just basically not being hardcore at selling them. Like, yeah, you want to buy a car right now? Like,
you need to buy this car right now. Get in the car. Just get in the car. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Exactly. And it's just more in CarMax, that's where I worked at. It was more focused on helping the customer first than selling
So
them.
The sales tactics actually were something you learned. I was going to say, I think one thing you definitely learned is just the value of working hard. Like, hustle, bro. Like if you really want something, you're going to have to hustle, and the hustle never stops. So for everybody thinking, oh, Austin's just talking because he's made some money and blah, blah. No, bro, you have to keep hustling then, because you don't want to go backwards. I can't go backwards now, bro, because then everybody called me a broke ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep hustling. It's like, you got to literally wake up every day still like somebody's chasing you, like somebody's going to take my spot, bro. And if I have that mindset, this is the key, I think. My mindset has always been, wake up like somebody's trying to take your spot, but don't look at anybody else that's actually trying to take your spot. I don't care what they're doing, how many followers they have, how big their business is. I'm just waking up like they're chasing me, because I already see myself at the front. I've always felt that way, So when that mindset, it's killer, bro. It's just, it is.
And
it'll destroy anybody.
Yeah. It definitely helped me out with working hard, because I never really worked at a real 9-to-5 job or a real kind of job. Everything was like fast food, restaurants or whatever. So it definitely just, bro, some days, like, I wouldn't trade New York sessions because like I was supposed to go to work at around 6 or 7 a.m. So I just didn't have time, and I went to sleep around like 11 a.m. sometimes. So, waking up during the London session, New York session was just like, it was just too hard for me. And some days, bro, I had to literally push myself out of bed, crawl into the restroom, do my hair, and get ready for work, because it was just so difficult for me sometimes. But it definitely just, throughout the kind of days and months, I did find a schedule that fit me. Usually whenever I woke up, I would get ready, get some coffee. I needed to get,
even right there. Look, it's teaching you how to build a routine. You know? There was a lot of lessons in that, I think. And that's not to go off too far. I want to keep on your questions. Just like, there's a problem with a lot of kids today. Millennials, kids your age, my age, like they don't fail. They don't fail. Their parents don't make them do things that makes them fail. Their parents are giving them money and catching them. No disrespect. But I think if you don't know what failure is like, you don't know how to work hard. That's it. You don't actually know what the feeling of like crawling to wash your face before you have to go to work and have to go do something, and then you don't like it, and maybe something bad happens and you got to fix it. That experience as a whole, start to finish in that day, doing a bunch of those days, it teaches you a lot about yourself.
What would you say to yourself, like, if you could travel back in time to your beginner self whenever you first started getting into trading, what is the number one tip that you would tell yourself?
Don't rush it, because the patterns on the chart are going to be there in 2020, and they're going to be there in 2025. Why are you forcing trades that you don't need to be in? Just understanding the difference between a trade idea and a trade worth my money would have been a much better thing for me to understand 6 years ago. It would have saved me a ton of money. But I was very egotistical when I got into trading. You're young, your ego is everything at that point. You don't even know what ego is. You're not aware of it. It takes a lot of self-awareness to know what an ego even is. The ego is the one that's making you take all of those trades because you think that all of your ideas are correct. Yeah, that's not good, bro. Like, I laugh at it now because like thinking that way is very self-toxic. It's not good for you. You cannot think of yourself as someone that isn't wrong. In trading, right or wrong doesn't even matter. Making money matters. So it's like the whole question of being right shouldn't even be in the trading plan. It should never even be asked in your head. You shouldn't worry about being right or being wrong. It should be, is this a good trade or is it not? I think that would be the big thing, selectivity. And that's why I'm a big believer on it, bro. That's my next tattoo on my forehead, selectivity.
And it's hard. Like, I think specifically for beginner traders, like who are young, like me, 17, 18, 19, 20, Like, I think their egos are much more bigger than, people much older.
Oh yeah.
And I think like for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have to overcome that. And I'm still overcoming that on a daily basis.
Still working on it, bro. Me too. Yeah. Don't ever think that I feel like I'm a master of that. I've got this book. Look, I just read the 4 Agreements. I made a video about that, why everybody needs to read that. And now I'm reading this one. It's called A New Earth, and it's Awakening to Your Life's Purpose by this same type of author. This is Eckhart Tolle, not Don Miguel Ruiz. But this guy, again, it says here, he expands on these powerful ideas to show how transcending our ego-based state of consciousness is not only essential to personal happiness, but also the key to ending conflict and suffering throughout the world. So it's transcending through our ego-based consciousness, just getting out of your own head, realizing that that's your ego attaching to something. But ego is still important, because without ego, you wouldn't attach to your name, your strengths, who you are, what you want from the world. So you got to know when it's important. But in the trading stuff, it's got no but it's always something we have to be growing on. It's like, it's a never ending process of understanding where's your ego coming into play and where is it not,
Mm-hmm. And I'll be even transparent with like the whole world, like everyone watching this. For me, I get ego. Like the most part where I feel like there's ego is whenever people are kind of like, I think not as much as right now, but in the beginning is when people are like winning on a specific trade. Like a lot of people are winning on a specific trade that I didn't take, and I feel that kind of that ego coming out. Like, oh, I should have just taken that trade. Like, come on, like I need to be on the grind on this trade or whatever. So for me, what I try to do whenever I'm feeling that kind of like ego coming out is just step back, forget about that moment, just step back and just do something else. Because like, if you keep on revolving that same issue over and over again, thinking about it, you're going to do something about it. You're going to think, like, absolutely. Once you're thinking about that trade that you miss, you're going to act emotionally, and you're going to do something stupid.
Yep. Dude. And I love the people that try to tell me that they're like, no, I won't. Okay, bro. Okay. You let me know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are funny. It's crazy because every human is so different, man. Like, humans are just this crazy species of things on this planet. But at the same time, when it comes to trading, everybody makes the same mistakes. It's crazy. They make the same couple of mistakes. So it's almost easy to not be a part of the 90% because you can see the same mistakes that they're doing over and over and over. Put the link in the description to that video I just made about the 4 mistakes that all traders make. For everybody watching this far, Jase will put a link so you can go check that out. I mean, it really, if you watch that video, you'll understand what I'm saying. It's so crazy to think how complicated we are as humans, yet we make the same 4 basic mistakes.
And you see that, and you see those mistakes, and you're like, oh, I could be better. I'll do it better. But eventually, that one moment, and you do it. Like, fuck.
No accountability to it, right? A lot of, like, back to what I said, a lot of people won't hold themselves accountable when they are making those 4 mistakes. So then those 4 mistakes turn into like repeat habits that are problems in your trading. And then you end up not making money trading because you didn't listen to these 4 problems that everybody runs into. So be aware of them and you don't have to run into them. It's that simple. Like, it's not like I would ever put something out on the internet or you would put something out that would be there to make people make less money. Everything that we put out is to help people make more money. So when I'm saying this and I'm saying just think about these 4 mistakes, just bringing that thought of these mistakes happening into existence for people should help them not make those mistakes and avoid doing what the 90% does, just because you're aware of it. Then if you practice it and focus on it, you should really be fine. That's my goal,
Should, unless the person is really stubborn and just doesn't really care. Like, it's just,
which are a lot of people are, bro.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who are like that, who are just, they know what not to do. Like, it's like a little kid. They know what not to do, but they do it anyways.
Right.
It's like they're curious, or they just want to go for it.
Humans aren't as complicated as they want to make themselves out to be. We're all just little big kids. Big little kids, whatever you want to call it. That's really what we are, bro. There's no difference. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got just different experience and different age. So
exactly. So what would you tell to, I guess just this is ending on the last note, what would you tell everyone in the, beginner traders who are watching this right now, what would you tell them, to do? Like, what is the number 1 tip? Or like, I think I'll narrow it down to 3 tips. What are the 3 tips that you will tell them to overcome those obstacles that usually everyone faces in the beginning?
The first one would be settle in. Like the saying that I heard, I read it in a book, was take your coat off. Like, when you get to a party, you take your coat off, you're going to enjoy yourself. You're here for a while, relax. So patience, take your coat off. You want to be a trader? Take your coat off You're going to be sitting down at this desk every day. It ain't going to be easy, but you're going to grow every day and you're going to get better over time. So get ready for that. Like, just expect that it's not going to be here in one day. And then the second tip would be, these are like kind of blended together. Demo trading is very important. No matter what any guru tells you, if you're new to trading with paper money makes a lot more sense than trading with real money, because you're going to make basic mistakes. You don't even know how to click the buy or sell button yet. Don't put your real money on the line. In that same sense, I think you need to find a system that works with you. When you see it, you'll know it. That's the best way I can describe it. When people see my videos and your videos, they know us, and they hear that we talk about a system. If we align in the way that they like the vibrations coming out of my mouth, then they're going to really settle in and be able to do well. And if they don't, go find another guy, go find another system and learn from them. But that system and that testing are huge. And then my third tip is, whatever money you were going to put in the account to start trading with, 20 grand, 10 grand, 100 grand, start with half, do well for 2 months, and then add the rest in. You won't be mad at me. I promise. I promise. But you will be mad at yourself if you don't listen to what I just said and you put all of it in and lose half of it and then try to make it back. It's really, really hard. Start with less and add more. It's a big, big thing. Those are my 3 tips.
And for me specifically, what my 3 tips will be is, finding the proper education. I think that's really important in my opinion, just because
I agree.
Whenever you're a beginner trader, like, you don't have, like, who's helping you throughout the process. Yeah, YouTube videos can go through like so much, but like, you just feel so kind of lost when you're, trading and you're not actually knowing what to do. And for me, like, that's the same thing. I felt really lost. Like, I try to join signals and, signals or like groups of free communities that people like, but it just confused me even more because they were just posting random charts all over the place. And they're like, people were cussing each other out. So it was like
I said,
they weren't even helping at all. So like, that would be my number 1 tip. The number 2 tip would be just being kind of like self-aware of your losses. Whenever you take a loss, even though it's a stupid loss, try to journal it in your trade journal, just so you know in the back of your mind,
keep yourself accountable. That's kind of what I was saying before too.
Accountable, for sure. Just keeping that loss journaled and knowing why you lost on that trade. And number 3 tip for me would be just kind of like doing it consistently, like doing the proper work, because a lot of people don't really want to put in the proper work, whether that's back testing, whether that's having a trade journal, doing markups, and it's just like, you have to put in some proper work into it. Like, it's not just going to be so easy where you're going to trade every single day and expect, a year from now to make money consistently. You have to put in the proper work. Like, if you look at professional traders, do you think they just trade a strategy without having proper back testing?
They're all working more on their like stuff off the actual trades than they're actually spending time in trades. They all are working way more.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Systems, systematics, like building systems, back testing, markups, just a lot of back end. Because like,
searching
for me, like, if you're trading more, this is my opinion, but if you're trading more in like the forward trading, then you are like spending more time than back testing, then I think you're doing something wrong, because you shouldn't be trading way more than you're back testing, in my opinion, just because you gotta have to. That's probably one of the reasons why you're losing money, just because you're trading way more than you're actually testing it on the back end and doing markups and doing a trade journal and doing just analysis of what you did wrong on that current day, what you could do better. Like, you definitely have to put in the proper work for everything into that. And that was my biggest mistake in the beginning, where I just traded every single day, didn't journal anything, didn't do any back testing, and that's where you lose like the most money. That's literally one of the areas where I lost most of my money, was just basically just not putting any proper work and just trading every single day, expecting to, maybe the next trade is going to be a winner. Maybe the next trade I'm going to be better. I'm going to be a better trader and better setup or whatever. So that's not where your actual growth is, in my opinion. The actual growth is actually in the back end, in my opinion. So that will be kind of like the last note. Austin, do you want to end anything?
No, bro. I think we covered a lot, bro. I think this is good.
All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate all of you guys watching until the end. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to message me or Austin. And without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. All right, thank you.